Linda is engaged to a coworker she had been dating for 3 years. She found out she was pregnant soon after and was at the height of her happiness. All her friends and colleagues envied her. But then, her fiancé suddenly announced that he is breaking off the engagement. No one could have ever predicted that the engagement would have come to an end like this. The discovery of my pregnancy came at the same time as the engagement. I thought that my happiness had doubled. I was excitedly thinking about how I was going to tell him. Now it seems ridiculous. Good evening, everyone. My name is Linda. Today I'm here to tell you about how my engagement was called off, and how my little vendetta against my fiancé ended up turning my life a complete 180. Michael and I were colleagues at work. It was a busy office, so all of our coworkers were close. We would encourage each other while we worked. Out of all of them, I got along best with Michael, who was in the same department with me. We often went out for drinks after work and talked about our problems. He is a very caring person. As we spent a lot of time together, we became attracted to each other, and we eventually started dating. He wanted us to keep our relationship a secret within the company. I don't want people to find out we're together and be concerned about it, and I don't want either of us to be sent to another department. Let's keep it quiet for a while. That's what he said, and I thought he was right and accepted his request. We would meet outside the office so that we wouldn't get caught. Even if we left the house together in the morning, we would arrive at work at different times. It was a bit thrilling and fun to have a secret relationship, but I didn't tell him that. I told Nancy and Emma, two of my closest coworkers, that we were dating. You both get along great. You both fit so well together. Congrats! I knew you guys were dating. Thanks for telling me. When I confided in them, they were both happy to congratulate me. That made me happy. After that, our relationship continued smoothly, and before I knew it, 3 years had passed. After 3 years in the workforce, many people around me were starting to get married. Nancy, one of my 2 closest coworkers, was getting married. I began to wonder when my turn would come. You'll probably be getting married soon, too. There's more and more people around him who are getting married, so I have a feeling he's thinking about proposing soon. Because of these things she said to me, I wondered when it would happen, and my feelings were growing stronger and stronger, but there was no sign of proposal. I was thinking about the wedding I went to the other day and how nice it was, and I was wondering where we would go on our honeymoon if we were to go. I asked him where he would like to go on his honeymoon, or if we had a baby someday, what we would name it. I tried talking to him, but it didn't have much effect. One day I got tired and asked him directly, Hey, Michael, what do you think about our future and all that? Our future? Should we be getting married soon? What? Is that a proposal? Yes, that's right. Yeah, let's get married. Okay, let's do it. It wasn't a very special proposal, but he said it clearly, and at the time I felt great. And yet, after he proposed to me, his work suddenly became very busy. The time we spent together began to decrease. Whenever I tried to contact him, Sorry, I've been busy and a little tired, is what he tells me every day. We're in the same department, so I know it's really busy. But when our new lives are about to start, I had no clue when our schedules would match up. I was sad that he hardly made time for me. I was supportive of him and his work. I told this only to Emma and Nancy. They said to me, So, he finally proposed to you. Congratulations. I know he said he's busy with work, so it must be sad not getting to talk to him. I feel like I'm the only one who's feeling overwhelmed. I don't want to say too much and feel like a burden. It's hard for me to say anything when I think about it. I know how you feel, but you know what? If you're going to be married from now on, you can't be shy about it. Why don't you ask him about moving forward for real this time? You're right. I'll ask him if he can make some time for me. Thank you. After talking to my colleagues, I think I stopped worrying. During the time we didn't see each other for about a month after the proposal, I suddenly became very ill. I couldn't believe it, but I took a pregnancy test and it came back positive. I had never expected to have a child after getting engaged. I couldn't have been happier. I couldn't wait to tell him. So I did as Nancy had told me. I asked him to make time for me even though he said he was busy, and we set up a time to meet. He acted different than usual. Perhaps because I had asked him to make time for me? He seemed to be a little bothered by my request. I was a little anxious, but I was sure he would change his mind after I showed him the results. I was sure he would change his mind and be happy about the big news. So I told him, "I think I'm pregnant." "Huh?" Then I got a different reaction than I had imagined. A puzzled, shocked look on his face. I became more and more worried. "That can't be true. Is that really my child?" "I'm not lying. I took a test and it came back positive. Why would you say that?" In response to my question, he said something outrageous. "I'm sorry, but I'm breaking off the engagement." "What? What do you mean?" "I'm in love with someone else." "Someone else?" "Yes." "That's what you meant when you said you were busy and didn't want to see me until now? That's what this is about?" "I'm sorry." "Isn't that too irresponsible when I have a baby on the way? Do you think only about yourself?" "Well, I didn't think you were going to get pregnant." "That's why I'm saying you're irresponsible. He was cheating on me during this period when we couldn't see each other. I could not easily believe it. At that time, from the pinnacle of happiness of the proposal and pregnancy, I suddenly felt like I had been brought down to earth. I didn't understand what he was saying. He was telling me that he had found someone else he liked. That's why he didn't want to see me. He said he couldn't even think of having children with me. I guess that's why he wants to break up with me." I understood his words. I was not satisfied with his explanation. I asked him who the person was he was in love with. "Who is this person you like?" "Well, I can't tell you that." He wouldn't tell me, per usual. I just don't understand why he would do this. Why? What about the baby?" "You can decide that. I can't do anything about it." "You're the worst. I can't believe you would do this. I can't believe you were only thinking about yourself." I threw around a lot of words at him, but none of them gave me the answers I wanted. I thought it was no use to hang on to a man who didn't have feelings for me anymore. I felt that there was no point in trying to hang on to him. In the end, I decided to accept the breakup of the engagement. But I couldn't agree with not knowing who Michael's new lover is, so I decided to investigate. After work, I followed Michael. He was meeting someone just outside the office. It was Emma, one of my closest coworkers. I was surprised. As I got closer to where I could hear the conversation, I couldn't believe my eyes even more. Emma had her arms around Michael. They wouldn't be this close unless they were dating. I couldn't just stand there and watch, so I went up to them. "What? Why?" "That's my line. What are you doing with her?" "No, it's—" "Oh, I've been found out, huh? Well, it can't be helped then. I'll tell you all about it. We started dating at the same time that you started dating. He was two-timing you without telling you. Well, I knew about it." Emma's words made me realize that I had been deceived all along. I went out with Michael. Emma was soon told about it. She approached Michael, whom she also liked. She asked him to go out with him too, even if she wasn't his favorite, and Michael took her up on the offer. Emma said she had been looking for an opportunity to break up my relationship with him for a long time. She said that from the very beginning, she didn't like the fact that I was doing so well in my job and my love life. She was trying to undermine me. "I was so surprised that you didn't notice, and in the end, I was the one he chose." "You guys were tricking me all this time?" "I didn't mean for it to become like this, but it turned out that way. But it's your fault too. You were always nagging me about marriage and kids all the time, but Emma doesn't say anything like that." "I'm not thinking about marriage yet, so it was convenient for the both of us. It's funny that you didn't notice. I never thought you and I would switch places." "Second place. That's ridiculous. What did you think of me? Was the proposal a lie too?" "That's—" "I'll answer that. I set it up. I heard from you wanting to get married, so I told him, why don't you just propose to her? That'll shut her up." "No." "Otherwise, you would have kept nagging me." "It should be fine. You got to live your dream. I'm not thinking about marriage yet. I'm going to enjoy a romantic relationship with Michael for a while." Emma scoffed at me. Hurt, I had no choice but to leave. I couldn't stop crying, so I couldn't easily get on the train to go home. I was wandering alone when I bumped into one of my colleagues, Nancy, on her way home from work. She said, "What's wrong? Are you crying?" I told her everything that had happened. Then she cried with me and got angry. Then she made me a proposal. She said, "I can't forgive them both. Do you want a little revenge? I was perplexed, but I decided to take her up on it. The way we decided to get revenge was to spread this fact as a rumor within the company. It was lovely. Of course, hiding the fact that I was responsible for this rumor? Michael was two-timing at work. Maybe he's seeing even more women. He recently broke off his engagement. I heard Emma and Michael are dating now. Is Emma his main lover or one of his flings? Nancy spread these rumors within the company. She was a very outgoing person, so the rumors quickly spread throughout the company. Various other rumors followed, and the rumor got bigger and bigger. I heard Michael is a bad guy. Emma's a whore. Maybe because it's not even true love. Such a pity. People would gossip about Michael and Emma all the time at work. They seemed to be very uncomfortable. I was in the same department as Michael. I was in pain of having to see him every day. But seeing him look uncomfortable made me feel a little better about all of this. Besides, rumors usually last for a few months tops. Soon everyone would get bored and quiet down, is what Nancy and I thought would happen. However, from this point on, a development was waiting for us that neither Nancy nor I could have imagined. One day at work, a female employee in a different department came straight to Michael. "Hey you, what's going on?" "No, wait, what's going on all of a sudden? It's, everyone's at work here." "Then explain it to me. What's this I hear about you two-timing? How many women have you been with?" Everyone around them became really quiet. The woman was clearly shaking in anger. Michael was in a cold sweat, and I was trying to get her out of there. I guessed that she was probably dating Michael too. She must have heard the rumors and couldn't stand by and yelled at him. "You're dating Emma, too, right? I saw her crying because you cheated on her. You're the worst. How many people are you dating?" That's... I couldn't believe my ears. It wasn't just Emma and me. I don't know how many other people there are out there. It was discovered that he had been seeing several women within the company. The female employee was screaming hysterically, so one of the other female employees took her away while trying to calm her down. But there was already an uproar. Rumors spread that the rumors were true, and more female employees began to avoid him at work, and his work began to suffer. I have no sympathy for him. On the contrary, I might have ended up as that other employee, so I'm glad that I found out about it earlier. Later that day, I happened to see Michael and Emma talking near the water cooler. "You're an asshole!" "You betrayed your friends too. You're an asshole." "I'm not like you. People are spreading rumors about me, and it's damaging my reputation. How many people are you dating? Don't make fun of me." "Huh? But you said you were fine with being number 2. You're just mad because you found out you weren't number 1 after all." "You're such an idiot. I just wanted to undermine Linda. That's why I used you in the first place. But you said you preferred me, so I decided to go out with you." "There are plenty of other women out there who like me, even if you don't. Besides, you think you're the best, but you're not." It was a horrible sight. How many people did Michael have his hands on? Even if there was no way of knowing all of them, but I had heard rumors that he was hitting on women in various departments. I thought this story would end here, but there was a final nail in the coffin. One day, the rumor spread so widely, Michael was called into the CEO's office. The rumors had spread to upper management over the past few days. Michael had become exhausted. He was getting thinner and thinner, so much that people around him were starting to get worried about his well-being. People asked him if he was sleeping well. He had deep, dark circles under his eyes. He would wobble around when he walked. He seemed to be in a lot of pain, and after all he did to those employees, it looked like no one was reaching out to help him. As I watched his back as he walked, I saw a handkerchief fall from his pocket. I thought that I should pick it up. I picked up the handkerchief and ran after him, but I couldn't reach him in time, and Michael went straight into the CEO's office. I thought to myself, what the heck? I can just give it to him when he comes back. So I thought. And as I was about to go back to my desk, I heard yelling from the CEO's office. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" I'm so sorry." I was curious, so I quietly went over to the door to listen. "Not only did you touch my precious daughter, you're also messing around with other female employees? What do you think you're doing to this company?" I'm sorry, sir." "Scum like you get fired. Fired." No way. There was really no way. I had no idea that he even messed with the CEO's daughter. No one in the company can help him now. I was so shocked that I forgot I had been hurt. I left the place. To begin with, I had no idea that the CEO's daughter was working for his company. I am sure Michael had no idea either. One of the women he happened to lay his hands on just happened to be the CEO's daughter. After Michael was fired, he came back to his desk in a daze, quietly packing up his belongings. I kept quiet about what I'd heard from the CEO's office. A few days later, "He cheated on the CEO's daughter and got fired," were the words that spread around the company. After that, Michael left the company. Nancy told me that he was desperately trying to find a new job, but was having trouble finding one. Nancy told me that our CEO is well known in the industry. He must be working behind the scenes to prevent Michael from getting a new job. It was all his own fault. Whenever someone heard about his situation, they would think of the rumors and nothing would go his way. Rumors should quiet down after a few months, but with Michael, that didn't happen. Michael had fallen to the point where he couldn't even find a job. His daily conduct had become a strangling influence on him. I was amazed at how rumors can push people to this point. This isn't exactly a bad example, but I would like to refrain from doing anything that will cause bad rumors to circulate. As for me, first, I found out that my pregnancy was a false positive. I went to the hospital right after my test kit came back positive. I was told that it was not yet time to confirm. I went back to the hospital and found out that it was a false positive. In a shock, I went home. This was the only time I was really relieved. I was able to reset my mind. My relationship with Michael was completely over. A short time later, I met someone wonderful. He is someone who doesn't try to hide the fact that we are dating. He is a person who cares about me very much. I am married to him now, and we have a baby waiting to be born. From now on, I would like to nurture happiness with him. How did you like the story? At first, you would think the story is about someone who is cheating on his partner, but it turns out that he was a dangerous man who had his hands on every woman in the company. And a bit of revenge, and even a little revenge can lead to ruin. There are many forms of love in the world, but the best one is when you are sincere and kind to others. Or would you like to taste a bit of revenge?